What's up, everybody? Welcome to SLC Puck! Woo! Riding high on the heels of a wonderful Nashcast that I got to be a part of with my good friend Tyson Nash on SEG Media, Utah Hockey Club Plus. Excuse me, not Cub. Club Plus. So much fun. So many great guests. Who am I, though? I'm Austin Facer. I'm your host of SLC Puck, co-host of Nashcast. We've got another Nashcast coming up for you on Thursday, which is tomorrow. I'm talking to you today on Wednesday, February 26th, year of our Lord, 2025. It's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for tuning in to SLC Puck, the happiest hockey podcast in the world. I think we'll say that. We got a lot of things to be happy about. The Utah Hockey Club has won some big games lately, and I'm not exaggerating, folks. These are huge games. The Utah Hockey Club playing in some very significant matchups coming down the stretch. This was the goal. This was what GMBA, General Manager Bill Armstrong, wanted. He wanted this team to be playing in games that mattered at the end of the year, and that's what's happening. We got 23 games to play. The Utah Hockey Club has 61 points in the standings. They're 3 points out of the wild card spot. It's going to be a tough road, though. It's going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, a lot of passion. It's going to be needed to get there. And I'm going to do everything I can to fuel my energy into a big playoff push for the Utah Hockey Club. But hey, what you can be doing to help me out in my efforts is you can go to slcpuck.shop. Look at that. We got lots of great stuff for you. As I said last episode, I added a new shirt here. It's got a mammoth theme, right? How about that? That's pretty cool. New hats, shirts for the little pucker in your life, hoodies for the bigger puckers in your life. Lots of good stuff. Beanies, hats. My iconic upside down hat is here. You can get one of your own. That's a big seller. I think most people really like that hat. And hey, what's better than a hat? Than a hat with pieces of flair on it. Make sure you get some buttons as well to go with it. I got some on my hat, and it looks pretty good. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. And I'll tell you what else I like a lot. The Utah Hockey Club's performance as of late. They've been very fun to watch, and I was so excited to see the Utah Hockey Club not only playing well, but to see it from the seat I had. Hey guys, let me just interrupt the show really quick. I'll get back to the melodious sound of my voice in just a moment. I wanted to remind you that we have this incredible giveaway going on with our good friends from Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers and Jonathan's Jewelry. All month, we've been giving away gift cards like they're going out of style, $250 a pop. I have no clue how the guys are able to do this. They assure me they're happy to do it. I know they're doing it. I've heard from some of our winners. They're psyched. They're going in the store. They're picking out some great stuff. It's amazing. And I've said this before, if you screwed up during Valentine's Day, maybe you didn't get the flowers, you forgot the chocolates, you need to get something to, repent for your sins, so to speak, atone, let's say that. Going into this giveaway and trying to get yourself a $250 gift card from Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers and Jonathan's Jewelry, that's your ticket out of the penalty box right there, my friend. So do that, scan the QR code right here. I have it up all episode long too, but I just wanted to take a quick moment to remind you about the giveaway. It's still going on. It's still amazing. If you haven't won yet, you're still in the running. We're keeping it rolling. And a big thanks to our good friends at Jonathan's Jewelry and Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers for hooking us up and for hooking up listeners of SLC Puck. Oh, I almost forgot. You don't even have to win to take advantage of this great promotion. Just go into either one of these locations. Jonathan's Jewelry is in Cottonwood Heights. Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers is at Trolley Square. Just go there. Say you listen to SLC Puck, they'll knock $100 off your purchase just like that. Great deal. Again, we really appreciate our good friends at Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers and Jonathan's Jewelry for hooking it up. Let's get back to the show, which was sitting in the Delta Center studios with my good friend Tyson Nash doing Nashcast. And just let me just recap that for you a little bit. Shameless plug. Yeah. We get it, right? But yeah, had a terrific time with Tyson on episode 4 of Nashcast. We had incredible guests. We had Jeremy Roenick, who was Nash Crashed. That's when we bring someone else in. They crash the show. By Doug Wilson, someone who Jeremy Roenick credits for saving his life. Really, that's no exaggeration in Jeremy Roenick's mind. And they had a wonderful moment. They talked. We had like about an hour's worth of solid, content. A great interview, a great discussion between all of us. I was there a little bit. I said one bad joke about Stan Mikita that fell incredibly flat. I referred to him. Hey, isn't that the donut guy? Nothing. I got nothing out of that. I thought it was pretty good too. So I hope those of you who watched at home and saw me, take a crap like that, take a nosedive, into the abyss that way, got a good chuckle out of my misfortune. It was a decent joke, I thought. It's a Wayne's World reference, but hey, whatever. Hey, still a really great time. It was such a tender moment. It's so funny because Jeremy Roenick, if you're not familiar with hockey, he is like a very bombastic, very controversial guy. He loves being in front of the microphone. We were kind of curious what the interview was going to be, and it turned out to be like a really tender, sweet moment. And it was like so much so that like Tyson sitting next to me was kind of tearing up, and it kind of makes me a little emotional thinking about it. It's just like, it just goes to show like how much hockey means together, how much the game kind of unites everybody, and really, really wonderful stuff. I believe that's going to be archived, recorded on SEG Plus, Utah Hockey Club Plus. So you can still check it out if you like. There's a lot of great stuff. And again, enjoy my misfortune. Enjoy my horrific joke. I think it might have been the delivery more than anything. Or maybe I just missed the moment. I don't know. But anyway, we'll figure it out. We got another Nashcast tomorrow. Oh, and we had another great guest too. Robert Bertuzzo was on as well. And he was terrific. Utah Hockey Club defenseman, kind of the veteran presence in the room. A while ago, he was one of the younger guys. One of the older guys on the team. He gave us a really nice interview as well. So that's great. And then tomorrow, Thursday, we have another terrific Nashcast. We're going to have Mike Madonna, Rick Bonus. Super excited about that. Madonna, probably one of the best American, you could argue, make a very strong argument actually, that he's the greatest American hockey player of all time. So that's going to be a lot of fun to talk to him. I think we'll probably talk a little Mike, Four Nations face-off, all that stuff. If you guys have a question you'd like me to ask Mike Madonna or Rick Bonus, feel free to bring it up right here. Use the SLC Puck hotline. You can call in. The number is 919-666-PUCK-7825. You can also text the number too. I didn't know that you could do this, but you can text that number and it'll go to the same hotline and I can read it. I'll respond if I choose to, right? But yeah, if you have a question for Mike Madonna or Rick Bonus, let me know. I think they call him Bones is his nickname. So that's gonna be a ton of fun. We're really looking forward to that. And Tyson Nash does such a great job getting the show ready for us. But who else did a great job last night? Our good buddies, our fellas on the ice, the Utah Hockey Club. Huge game. Last time we spoke, last episode, the Utah Hockey Club was coming off of a big 2-1 victory over the Vancouver Canucks. Now we're back. We're on the heels of another big 2-1 victory, this time over the Chicago Blackhawks. And these games, as I said at the start of the show, are just becoming incredibly, incredibly important. The Utah Hockey Club is in the thick of it. They've got a chance. They've got a chance. They're going to have to do a lot of work to make it into the playoffs, but with 23 games to go, I think you have to feel really good about where this team is, especially when you consider the fact that they've been injured for so long. Like, we talked about Sean Dursey missed a significant chunk of the season, and I mean, it's readily apparent with him back on the ice how important he is to this team. He missed 52 games, by the way. Dylan Gunther, I believe, missed 12. I think Logan Cooley might have missed 7. And then there's just been little injuries here and there. Clayton Keller missed a game or two. And Mikhail Sergachev missed a couple games as well. So this, again, I've said this the last few episodes. This is where it gets exciting. This is where it gets fun. The Utah Hockey Club is at its healthiest. They've been pretty much all season. The goaltending has been really good. We saw Connor Ingram play really well in their first in a win the other night. Karel Vejmelka is also kind of standing on his head a little bit. So a good 1-2 punch in goaltending there. It feels like the pieces are there for what could be a really special moment in the Utah Hockey Club's inaugural season. Let's check the standings really quick. We got to check the standings. The first thing, if you're a true blue-blooded Utah Hockey Club fan, the first thing you should be doing every day when you wake up, when your head pops off the pillow, you should, 1, be saying your prayers. and be thankful that you have a hockey team here and that you are a fan of SLC Puck. And other gratitude is just a great kind of tool to have in your arsenal. So make sure you're grateful, right? But the second thing you should be doing, probably brushing your teeth, right? Or going to the bathroom if you need to. But after that, immediately after that, what you should be doing is checking the NHL standings, because this is it's on a day-by-day situation. This is going to be absolutely vital to check out, especially if you're interested in the Utah Hockey Club's playoff hunt at this point, as we're calling it, not a chase, a hunt. I asked Robert Bertuzzo if his team was viewing it more as a chase or a hunt, and he's like, I don't know. We're just playing. And I was like, dang it. I thought I had such a snappy, catchy thing that I stole from Tyson Nash. The players they're just playing it. They're just taking it game by game. But again, game by game, it's getting very, very important. So let's check the Western Conference standings here really quick. As you can see here, right, and I'm going to have to explain it to you people again, as I do every episode. 2 conferences, 2 divisions in each conference. Top 3 teams are in, plus 2 wildcard teams, so the two teams with the next best records. Right now, don't even worry. The Utah Hockey Club's in the Central Division, by the way. Don't even worry about cracking into the top 3. It's not going to happen for the Utah Hockey Club this season. What we're looking at are these wildcard positions. That first wildcard spot being held right now by the Colorado Avalanche with 68 points. That's a little out of reach for the Utah Hockey Club, I'd say, especially considering how talented Colorado is. They made a big trade. They got Marty Nakis, I probably said that wrong. Nathan McKinnon, MVP of the Four Nations Face-Off Tournament. Cale Makar. They rearranged their goaltending tandem. So Colorado's in. Don't worry about the first wildcard spot. That's going to belong to the Avalanche. The second one is the one we're after. Right now, being held by the Calgary Flames with 64 points. Right behind them, the Vancouver Canucks with 63. And nipping on their heels, our boys, our fellas, the Utah Hockey Club with 61 points. So let's do again. I know this is not my favorite topic of discussion, and it's not probably a lot of people's, right? Unless you're a nerd, and we love our nerds. I use that term with a lot of love, but we're gonna have to do a little bit of math here, folks. So buckle up. We talked about it previously, and the Utah Hockey Club broadcast has talked about this a little bit as well. The number we're looking for, the number that should be right here, forefront of your mind, is 94. 94 is the number we're after, because that's typically the number of points in the standings that would give you a really good chance of making the playoffs most seasons. Some years more, some years less. But you get to 94, you give yourself a very good chance historically, right? So right now, the Utah Hockey Club sitting at 61 points with 23 games to go. And we know that standings and the points are determined by outcomes, right? So a victory in regulation gets you 2 points, or if you get the win in overtime, 2 points. Win, 2 points. You lose in regulation, you get 0 points. But you take the game to overtime, you lose there, you get 1 point, right? But it's going to be very important for the Utah Hockey Club to rack up these wins in regulation, especially with other teams right on their heels, including the St. Louis Blues, who are just 1 point behind them with 60. So when they play the Blues, and they play them, it looks like just one more time right at the end of the year, April 15th, that is going to be a very crucial game. That's one Utah Hockey Club's going to want to try to win in regulation. So that's just something to keep in mind. But, I was looking through the schedule. And again, my math tells me if we're at 61 points with 23 games to play, the Utah Hockey Club needs to win at least 16 games and have 1 loss in overtime to reach that magic number, 94, that we've been talking about. Let's just say, for the sake of making things simple, they need to get 17 more wins, right, with 23 games to play. That's a tall order. That says they can really only afford to lose 6 games moving forward. And again, there are a lot of reasons to be optimistic, right? I think that the health of the team, it's a team that is getting its bearings straight for the first time this year. They're really coming into their identity, which is something the players have been talking about in the locker room quite a bit. But it's getting tougher. It's getting really tough. So here I'm at tankathon.com. We can see here the strength of schedule. Last time we talked, the Utah Hockey Club's strength of schedule was all the way down here, is about 28th, right? So that meant they had the 5th easiest schedule to finish out the year. We can see just a few days later, they've gone up the list quite a bit. They're sitting at the 20th toughest schedule in the National Hockey League. So big jump there from 28th to 20th. Fortunately, the teams that we are hunting, not chasing, hunting, Calgary and Vancouver, they have tougher schedules as well, 13th and 14th toughest schedules in the NHL. But, let's just focus on what we can control. We can't control the outcomes of Vancouver or Calgary, right? We can only focus on ourselves as Utah Hockey Club, fans, players, fans as much as we can control, right? But the team, right? I'm trying to apply Stoic principles here, folks. This is a Stoic podcast, after all. You should read books by Ryan Holiday, by the way. Those are very good. Anyway, I was looking at the schedule. I got it printed out here. And what I wanted to look at was just to try to figure out, is it hard? Is it tough? I mean, the remaining strength of schedule right here, the combined of opponents, the winning percentage is 543, right? 543 is the remaining strength of schedule of the Utah Hockey Club's opponents, right? So I went through and I wanted to circle like which of these teams have winning records, which have inferior records, right? So I went through, I made notes, and I noticed that of the 23 games remaining, only 9 of those games are against teams with a worse record. So to me, that says the Utah Hockey Club is really going to have to rally. They're going to have to win some thrillers and pull off some upsets to get to that magic number, to get to 94. Can they do it? Time will tell. I don't know. I think it's going to be kind of interesting, right? What else is going to be kind of interesting is the personnel that they're going to utilize to get here, right? So I'm talking to you guys on February 26th. We're about a week away from the trade deadline, which is March 7th, right? So we've been talking about this a little bit. And so the question is like, okay, what does Utah Hockey Club do, right? Do they throw in the towel? They say, hey, playoffs, not going to happen for us. Let's liquidate some assets. Let's gear up for next season, right? Or do they say, hey, you know what? Let's push all our chips into the center of the table. I got the buying and selling metaphor wrong. They're either buying or selling, right? Are they buying guys to help them get into the playoffs, or are they not? That's the question, right? And it's kind of hard to say because they're kind of on that bubble, right? It's tough to say, but the answers were found in an article yesterday published on NHL.com. I read it, so you guys don't have to, but we'll just go through some highlights right here. Utah GM Bill Armstrong, GMBA, talks trade deadline approach, growth of young players in Q&A with NHL.com. How'd they get so lucky to score a Q&A with GMBA? Sounds awesome. Good for them. Okay, so they went through here, just the same basic questions we've been seeing for a while, right? How's it been in Utah? How about Gunther and Cooley, right? They bring a lot of energy, production to your group. Gunther, how about that contract, right? 8 years, $56 million. That's a lot of money, but hey, that might be a steal, right? This same stuff we've been talking about for a while. But this section here is really interesting here. So with all that said, we're about 2 weeks from the trade deadline, says NHL.com. What may Utah do? Here is the answer from GMBA. I'll tell you exactly where we are. We're not buyers and we're not sellers. The reason we're in that position is because we acquired Kevin Stenlund, Marino, and Sergachev. We did a lot of our shopping in the summer. Plus, we added Oli Mata and Nick DeSimone. We're in a position where unless something is dynamic that can help us when we get to our window to win, we probably won't make a move unless something changes from now to then. So, from the lips of GMBA and published on NHL.com, the Utah Hockey Club is probably going to stand pat at the trade deadline. They're probably not going to make a move unless they feel like it's something that can eventually not just put them over the hump into the playoffs, but I'm reading into this as GMBA saying we're not going to make a move unless we know it's an eventual Stanley Cup winning move, right? And so I think that kind of makes a lot of sense. The Utah Hockey Club is really rolling out this group, this cohesive unit for the first time all season. They're healthy, they're strong, they're getting ready, they're coming into their own, they're catching their stride, they're winning tough games, they're defending home ice. You heard it from me, and I was quoting General Manager Bill Armstrong it does not sound like we can expect the Utah Hockey Club to make any moves of significance, we'll say, or maybe not any moves at all coming into the trade deadline. They're going to roll out with the boys and see how it shakes out. And I got to say, I'm excited, right? I think that kind of shows not only like a lot of stability for signing future free agents, right? I think that kind of thing gets noticed by the rest of the players in the National Hockey League. But we like these guys. They're our team. It's the first team in Utah Hockey Club history. I'm excited to see how they do. We finally get to see them together. We finally get to see this team that we thought would come together in a big, fun way, especially when they acquired Mikhail Sergachev and John Marino way back in June around the NHL draft time, right? Remember that? That was a draft night deal that they made to grab both of those guys. Let's roll. Let's see how we do. It's exciting. It's fun. And I cannot wait to see what happens. And it's going to start with Thursday's game against the Minnesota Wild. And that's a big one, right? Minnesota right now with a 34-20-4 record. They've got 72 points. They're firmly in the playoffs. They've had a great year. We say this before and after every game against Minnesota this season. Clayton Keller is going to have a chip on his shoulder coming into this one. He was a Four Nations face-off snub, probably in his mind, right? I think there's an argument he was, he wasn't. But I'm sure he feels like he was. He's going to take it out against Minnesota because their general manager is also the guy who made the call, who decided to keep him off the roster, Bill Guerin. So excited for Clayton Keller to show out for that one. It's going to be a terrific, terrific game. If you don't have tickets, stay home. Watch Nashcast. We're going to have a lot of fun. Mike Modano's on. Rick Bonus, surprise guest as well. It's going to be super, super, super fun. You won't want to miss it. You won't want to miss it. And it's not the only exciting thing that's happening right now in the Utah hockey universe, right? Let's give a big shout out right now. You probably noticed today, I'm not wearing my typical SLC Puck hat. I'm wearing a much cooler hat. It is much cooler. I do like this hat quite a bit. I'm wearing a Skatin' Utes University of Utah hockey program hat. And I want to give the Skatin' Utes some love here, not just because I'm a University of Utah alum, go Utes. And look, I've got a Utah sweater right here that's been added to the set here at SLC Puck Studios. But the praise for the Skating Utes is so deserved this season. They've had an incredible season. If you don't know anything, I did a little episode at a University of Utah Skating Utes game earlier this year. And I like to think that maybe my presence sort of spurred them on to having the incredible run that they've had. But the Skating Utes are real good. And again, these guys play in the ACHA, so they're club level. They're not supported financially by the University of Utah. They do wear the University of Utah logo, the name, all that. The students are all student athletes at the University of Utah, but they're not a varsity sport, right? So that's just important to keep in mind. But they've had an absolute remarkable season. They were awarded the 8th seed in the tournament at the ACHA National Championships, which are going to tip, I keep saying tip off. They're going to drop the puck on March 13th in St. Louis. So big props to our good friends over there at the University of Utah. AJ Bolden, who is the general manager, president of the team, is a buddy of mine. I interviewed him on that episode I did at the game. But man, they had such a great weekend last weekend. They beat the University of Oregon 9-0 in their first game and then 10-2 in their second one. They play at the Salt Lake City Sports Complex. I call it Steiner. But I mean, they have such a terrific program, and the kids there are awesome. The quality of play is really good. Really, really solid. These kids can skate. These kids can pass. These kids can check. These kids can shoot. And these kids can score. And they're being rewarded for their efforts with a trip to the national tournament. And I believe this might be one of their best seasons that they've ever had. Yeah, it says here their M1 team will be making their second trip to the tournament as a Division I team, the first being the 2023-2024 season. So here's what's important to know, and this is where I'm calling on you folks as SLC Puckers to help out. Again, I noted that the Utah Hockey Club, that the University of Utah hockey program is a club program at the university, so they're not financially supported by the school, but the school does like them. I think that's important to note. But they rely on donations to make it all happen. So I would just encourage you guys to go to the University of Utah hockey program's website. It's universityofutahhockey.com. if you go to that lead story there, Utah M1 ranked 8th, earns first round bye at Nationals. Hop into that story and then check out the link to the donation page. And I'm going to include this in the show notes for this episode here. If you have the means and you want to support some great kids and a great program over at the University of Utah, I would encourage you to please make a donation to help these kids get to Nationals. It's expensive, right? Getting there is going to cost a ton of money. I talked to AJ about this just the other day. So every donation counts. If you can give a little, if you give a lot, great. We love you. We appreciate you. And so I just wanted to just invite you guys to consider that, right? As lovers of hockey here in Utah. So big congrats to the University of Utah hockey program for their trip to the national tournament. Let's help them get there. Let's help them have a great time. They deserve it. They do a terrific job there. But you know who else does a really good job? Was the interior decorator at Lawson Krause's house. I'll say that. Lawson and his wife, Claire, and this is how we're going to finish up the show here, graciously invited the team, the media team over at the Utah Hockey Club to do a little house tour of their home. I happen to know where this house is. It's in a nice neighborhood. I'm not going to say where on the show, but it's a lovely home. And so what I would like to do to close out the episode here is just kind of react in real time and review the home here on this house tour. This video is available on the Utah Hockey Club's YouTube page here. House tour, Lawson and Claire Krause. And here's what's great about this house tour. As you might think, if you know anything about our buddy Lawson Krause, who had a great game against the Blackhawks the other night and scored a goal. Tyson Nash called it perhaps the biggest goal of Lawson Krause's career. He's got a great home too. His wife did a hell of a job designing this place. You can, and here's what's funny. And let's just start the video and then I'll get into my thoughts on this.
Hey guys, I'm Lawson Krause and this is my wife Claire.
Welcome to our home in Utah.
Again, it's in a nice neighborhood. Okay, now if you've been following content on the Utah Hockey Club's YouTube page,
the transition,
something jumps off the map right away is just how remarkably different this place is from Dylan Gunther and Jack McBain's house. Like, you can tell one house it's a couple of dudes hanging out, the other it's a dude who's married with a wife with great taste. So I thought that difference is very
Obviously, it's a very
apparent.
big life adjustment, but everyone here has been so welcoming, and I think
there's Butterpig.
Can you stop? I
Butterpig.
The thing that stands out most for me is just how friendly everyone in Utah is.
We love you.
When they go on the road, there's neighbors checking in on me nonstop, texting, knocking on the door, offering me a hot meal, some help with the baby. So, I mean, the community has just welcomed us with open arms.
We love you. That is nice. That is a really nice setup. I like kind of the open floor plan there.
What's a goodie?
From the living room into the kitchen.
Soup.
Is that like the only recipe in there right now?
No,
You get the feeling Claire Krause probably makes really, really nice meals. She probably can make a mean stew.
I would say in the summertime I do like a lot of like grilling and smoking during the season.
I wonder if he has a
chicken and
Traeger.
Rice, so that's pretty easy.
I love to bake.
Look at all those cookbooks.
Baking's my go-to.
And they're arranged by color too. I appreciate
Probably
that.
A lot of our friends here have tried those brownies. They're pretty good.
Place looks good.
Our room is my favorite.
I appreciate a good coat rack too. I'll tell you that. There's Butterpig.
It's meant to be super moody with lots of different dark colors and textures and layers.
I'd take a nap there.
Like a lot of dark red accents, the burgundy, which you love for the pregame napping.
Ah!
Obviously, it's a comfy room when you jump into the bed. A lot of pillows on there right now, but
I too have a lot of pillows on my bed.
Come and whip them over to these chairs.
Yeah.
Claire doesn't really like because she likes how it looks. But yeah, it's just like, it's cozy.
Married life.
We let Butter keep his toys up here because in the middle of the night,
Butter.
Choose them on our ankles.
Yeah.
Isn't this delightful? Isn't this great?
But yeah, I spend a lot of time in the bath, usually nights before games.
Nice.
Epsom salts. I like this tub
Whoa.
because I can fit in it. It's so big. Get the nice
He's a tall dude.
And, nice lighting in here.
Oh.
Claire does her makeup, so.
Yeah.
2 shower heads.
Bathroom.
Nice. They've got a loft. Yeah, I mean, this is so clearly like a married man's house.
Dance, I love, and then this, like, fun shot on the aisle. This one too. There's I love all of our wedding photos. It's so hard to pick.
Oh, that's great.
It's so funny. This is like my.
I would hide the cable though. That's kind of my only criticism right now. I think they could hide the cable right there where the TV is.
record.
Oh, see, she just acknowledged it.
But I mean, he's got to put his spin on this place too. So
I guess this is
sometimes
his
like,
area.
we'll watch games
This
up
is
here, but
Lawson's
for the most part,
spot.
I'll have girls over, or Law will have the guys over for football, and we go downstairs to the theater room.
Theater room.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's a
gosh.
theater room. There's still a few things we're gonna
Look
put
at
up
that
a few
look at
more,
that
like,
lighting.
couple movie posters. Watch
Holy
a lot of
cow.
movies down here, especially.
I guarantee he's going to put a
coming off
Pulp
long
Fiction
road
movie
trips when we have
poster
the
there.
day off. Usually I come down here and throw on a movie, and just relax.
What the heck?
Obviously, as a professional,
I think they sell these at Costco, by the
hockey
way,
can
these
be pretty hard
saunas.
on your body. So I found with sauna and then cold tub, I plan on putting a hot tub there. I just haven't had the time to do it. I think it's a great way
He's
to
going to get it from
recover on,
Costco?
nightly basis. Gets pretty hot in there.
I love a
say
sauna.
I do it a couple times a week. I try not to do it nights before games because I don't want to dehydrate myself too much, but
Smart.
it's definitely a great addition to the home.
I
There's
do
a
like
lot of
this
science
house. This
behind
is a
the
cool
cold
house.
tubs. For me, I like it when I wake up from naps. So, wake up, little cold shock. It's an excruciating 2 to 5 minutes usually.
Never done it. I would think so. Oh my gosh. This is very cute. Very cute stuff.
Thank you guys so much for visiting our home.
Thanks for having
Utah
us.
Hockey Club.
That's right. All right. So big thanks to the Krauses for letting us in their home to check it out. Hey, let's wrap the show here. Thanks for tuning in, guys, to another exciting edition of SLC Puck. Hey, don't forget, I had this QR code here up the entire episode. Scan that frickin' thing, why don't you? That'll get you in a drawing for a gift card from our good friends at Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers, Jonathan's Jewelry. Giving away a gift card every episode. They're great partners and great sponsors of SLC Puck, so please support them. And you can also support me if you like by liking, commenting, subscribing on the show, slcpuck.shop. Nashcast tomorrow. Don't miss it. And let's go Utah Hockey Club. Let's rack it up. Let's get some wins. Oh, and support the University of Utah hockey program, why don't you? Huh? Send the kids to nationals so they can have a good time. But anyway, that's it, guys. We appreciate you. We'll talk soon.